Okay, so for number 1, your experiment output as well as a quick run through on what you did on this experiment. So basically, we were utilizing MATLAB to create different root locus designs as well as modify these designs. So first we solved for the closed loop poles. We then sketched the pole zero plots, and we also solved for parameters like the angle criterion, which would be negative 180 degrees. We also solved for our gain, which would be our k, and we also solved for the transfer function. Furthermore, we then took the step response and determined parameters like the settling time and the overshoot. Moving on, we also utilized MATLAB's CISO tool, which is basically a tool that allows us to modify root locus equations. So we can modify them by changing the poles, by adding zeros, by changing the gains and whatnot. And lastly, we also did verifications as well as changes on the step response once we modified the root locus equation from the CISO tool. So we added new zeros. And moving on, number 2, discussion of the challenges in performing this experiment or understanding the concepts. So honestly, there weren't much problems. Compared to the other experiments, it was not as challenging. However, I guess one notable challenge that kind of like took me long to finish the experiments was really understanding the CISO tool. So it's definitely my first time utilizing this MATLAB tool. However, it's a really great tool, honestly. It provides really effective ways to modify your root locus design. And lastly, for the notes to myself, it's definitely to be more open to different tools, not just limit myself to, for instance, the RLocus tool or other tools that were already given in the previous experiment. It's important that we are also open to other MATLAB tools, and one being the CISO tool, because when we're open to them, it definitely gives us better ways to create our root locus designs without having to change several codes. Because if we limit ourselves to specific tools or specific codes, then we would have to modify those codes. However, if we're open to new tools, we can simply just change the value similar to what the CISO tool has to offer. So that would be all.